Greetings, people. Welcome to a new episode of Artist Focus. My name is Chloé of Reggae and Dancehall Releases. Today, it's all about the dancehall youth king, Billy Boyo. Billy Boyo was born as Billy Theophilus Rowe on September 21st, 1969, Kingston, Jamaica. In the early 80s, Jamaica was shifting. Roots reggae was giving way to a new, raw, street-level sound with the name dancehall. Sound systems ruled the night. DJs toasted over rhythms, and a new generation of artists was emerging from the zinc fence communities of Kingston. A youth with a sharp tongue, a fearless attitude, and a natural gift for riding rhythms enters these arenas. He performed on sounds like Volcano, Black Scorpio, and Jah Love Music. These were the proven grounds where DJs battled for respect, and Billy held his own against artists twice his age and quickly becoming one of the most famous child DJs in Jamaican history. His voice was high-pitched but confident, playful yet commanding. He had a natural sense of timing, humor, and lyrical mischief that made him stand out in a competitive era. At a time when dancehall was dominated by adults, Billy Boyo walked onto the mic with no fear, and the crowd loved him. It was 1981 when Billy Boyo was 12 years old, and he voiced his unforgettable breakout hit, One Spliff a Day, produced by the great Henry Junjo Laws on the Jah Guidance label. Cheeky, humorous, and rhythmically sharp tune that became a dance hall anthem, played on sound systems across Jamaica and abroad. Billy also charted in 1982 with his single Wicked She Wicked, also produced by Henry Junjo Laws on the Jah Guidance label. This hit had the added charm of a 13-year-old kid voice on the mic chanting about a wicked girl. 1983 was a busy year. Billy Boyo was part of the Volcano family, one of the most influential movements in dancehall history, and stayed close with the producer Henry Junjo Laws. The next hit was born, Billy Boyo in the Area, on the famous Dirty Harry rhythm. Billy Boyo wasn't alone. He was part of a wave of young DJs who brought fresh energy to dancehall, like Little John, Little Harry, and Junior Demus. That's why it was producer Henry Junjo Laws who recorded the first album with Billy, an album with him and another young DJ, Little Harry, entitled DJ Clash Volume 2, released through Greensleeves Records, with new tracks like Going Back to School, Check In, and Look How She Fat. In this year, he also went to London with Little John and Ranking Toyin, where he linked up with producer Silver Camel and created some typical early 80s dancehall tracks. The Rhythms Build by Trevor Ranking in September 1983 at IPS Studios in Goldhawk Road, Shepherd's Bush, London. Tracks like Iron Woman, but also Dreadlocks Party on the Sitting and Watching rhythm. Every Mock'll Tell on the Rougher Yet rhythm, and I Like Your Something on the famous Taxi rhythm. And we can't forget the track Jamaica Nice on the Bobby Babylon rhythm, and Zim Zim on the Queen of the Minstrel rhythm. Almost 20 years after these tracks were recorded, producer Silver Camel finally released Billy Boyo's second album with the name Zim Zim in 2003. A great and entertaining showcase album with the tracks from 1983 followed directly by their wicked dub versions. Back to the mid-80s, and dancehall evolved into a more digital, hardcore sound. Billy Boyo's presence in the industry began to fade. He recorded less frequently and eventually stepped away from the spotlight. Unlike many of his peers, he didn't transition into the 90s dancehall era. Billy Boyo passed away in 2000 at just 31 years old after battling a brain tumor. His death was quiet, but his legacy was not forgotten. Collectors, historians, and dancehall fans continue to celebrate his recordings as essential documents of early 80s dancehall culture. He remains one of the most iconic youth DJs in Jamaican history. Billy Boyo is not just an artist, he is the youth king of dancehall, a symbol of the era when rhythms were raw, mics were open, and talent came from the streets. Thank you for listening. Please follow us on all the socials at Reggae Dancehall Releases. Stay tuned.